If you have browsed through YouTube or even TikTok, you have likely stumbled across subliminals. Usually taking the form of audio subliminals, these forms of manifestation have taken the internet by storm. First and foremost, what is a subliminal? A subliminal is defined as any form of stimuli that is below the threshold for conscious perception. What that means is that the brain is not actively receiving the stimuli, but rather subconsciously. Subliminals were first made popular by James Vicari. It showcased a woman on screen with a message saying, "Hungry? Eat popcorn." Another famous example is in the horror movie The Exorcist. In a blink and you'll miss moment, you can see the face of the white demon named Captain Howdy.
What the fuck?
Subliminals have been on the rise for the past couple of years, particularly on platforms like YouTube and TikTok. The likely explanation being the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of people having more time on their hands from lockdown, this led to people being online. With so many headlines about the state of affairs at the time, many had developed a fixation on the bad things that were going on. Some took matters into their own hands and let their voices be known, like the string of protests following George Floyd's death. Others tried to rationalize many of the phenomenon in question, whether that was through engaging in major tinfoiling or simply resorting to religion for comfort. Seeking religion for comfort in times of crisis is nothing new. It's a well-documented phenomenon. However, religion, especially in online spheres, have taken on a different form. First and foremost, most religions tend to be more eclectic and focused on witchcraft. This isn't surprising as many spaces on the internet are relatively feminist and witchcraft as a whole has been favorable towards the movement. This is a stark contrast to mainstream religions like Christianity, where women are expected to be subservient to their husbands, and men generally took on the roles of priests and bishops. Another contrast is the lack of hierarchy. As I mentioned, witchcraft is more eclectic and there is no hierarchy, compared to Christianity, which has clergymen like priests and bishops. In Catholicism, a branch of Christianity, there is the Pope, who is the chief clergyman. Speaking of feminism, the movement as a whole has been prevalent in online spaces. Feminism had its niche circles during the LiveJournal days, but later gained prominence throughout the 2010s on Tumblr and Twitter. One of the main reasons for eclectic witchcraft's rise to prominence is ease of accessibility. There are a plethora of TikTok videos that have tutorials on how to do deity work or cast spells. These videos are short and easy to digest. On top of that, the DIY methods for witchcraft are easy enough for any teenager to get their hands on. This is another stark contrast to mainstream religions where their practices and beliefs are more isolated and tied to being taught by generation. With all of these factors, how does it pertain to subliminals? Subliminals, or audio subliminals for this video, fall under the category of what I like to call manifesting magic. As the name implies, it is a form of magic that involves manifesting something of your desire. Manifesting, according to clinical psychologist and positive psychology expert Carla Manley, is the act or process of taking something hoped for and bringing it to life. If you're someone who's cynical, it could be taken as a bad faith reading of just simply wish until all your problems go away. However, Manley goes into detail. Quote, "After you've done your introspective work of figuring out what you want, you remove blockages to whatever is desired. This can include clearing out negative thoughts, negative emotional energy, or clearing the way forward towards forgiveness. The third step is geared towards moving into action. This step often first involves utilizing tools to energize the desired goal." What Manley is saying is that while blocking negative energies and welcoming good ones is an aspect for manifesting, it is simply that. The core aspect of manifesting is geared towards moving into action, actually putting the work into achieving your goal. With all this in mind, this does lead to the million-dollar question. Does it work? That's why I decided to conduct an experiment for this video. For 2 weeks, I'll listen to 2 subliminals, one that I created and one from YouTube user Trinicorn. And to keep track, I will write down the times that I started, ended, and even reset on the subliminals. 2 weeks should be fair enough. 2 weeks later, and I'm here to report my findings regarding subliminals. Let's get the million-dollar question answered. Do subliminals work? Not really. Perhaps there was something that I did wrong. Maybe I didn't have it at a certain frequency. Maybe it's because I didn't do it every single day. The only one that did was trinicorn subliminal, and that largely relies on circumstantial evidence. One thing I've noticed is that the color scheme may have affected my brain more than the subliminals. In Trinicorn's subliminal video, there are blue and purple accompanied by a picture of Usagi from Sailor Moon sleeping. There is a concept known as color psychology. It refers to how colors affect us on a psychological level. A lot of social media sites often use the color blue as it is subconsciously calming. I chose the color green more on a whim than anything. However, green is another color that is associated with peace. On top of that, it's the primary color associated with nature. Audio is another factor that may have affected the subliminals. Trinicorn's music choice was calming, whereas mine was more upbeat. Music has been proven to affect your mood. It's why people are often recommended to listen to upbeat music when they feel down. Chances are you're familiar with the dog experiment, aka Pavlov's dog. The experiment in which the dog would listen to the ring of a bell before being served food. How this pertains to subliminals is simple. By associating the subliminal with a desired effect, it comes to a point where the user will feel the change is occurring by listening to it, even when there really isn't change. Another psychological concept demonstrated through these subliminals is the placebo effect. This refers to a treatment or procedure that is said to affect an individual, but in reality does little to nothing. An example would be a doctor giving pills to a patient. They say that the pills will positively affect their mood and give them energy. The reality is that they are sugar pills. Despite this, the patient takes it believing that the pills will do what the doctor says. Or, to provide a more funny and personal experience, eating a bag of chips at a convention and being told that they were filled with glycerin and that it was gonna get me high. I could dedicate a story time to that. Subliminals on YouTube embody this phenomenon. Many of the subliminals advertise the ability to lose weight and obtain clear skin overnight. Despite the fact that there is little to no evidence that suggests such a thing, it still remains popular. Many come out on the other end believing that they are experiencing the changes, but in reality, it's just a placebo taking effect. The most concerning aspect surrounding the world of subliminals is the obsession with appearance. The most popular videos involving subliminals promise things like an hourglass figure and shedding pounds overnight. In an article from Bitch Media, they discuss a Reddit user by the name of u/DizzyBother and her obsession with her looks while using subliminals. This is what they had to say. Quote, "Though she is pleased with the results of her subliminal usage, she acknowledges that the obsession with appearances in the subliminals available to YouTube might be an issue for teenage girls, especially those taking to the internet in hopes of quote-unquote fixing themselves," end quote. It is undeniable that social media has caused harm to a lot of people's self-images. This has become more prevalent with the advent of various built-in filters to remove all perceived imperfections. On top of that, we live in an era of instant gratification, an era where you can get a product the same day you purchased it. Many teenagers are coming into the world of subliminals expecting immediate results, but said results either take time or they are physically impossible to do. The most popular results for subliminal videos are ones that pertain to physical appearance. Obtain the curves you desire, lose weight overnight, and the ability to change your eye color. What do all of these have in common? They set a person up for failure by offering them empty promises if they do a series of simple steps. Similar to the beauty industry as a whole. In fact, it is a symptom of said industry. However, instead of using pretty pills to shake off the extra weight, it involves co-opting new age beliefs with science that is dubious at best and fraudulent at worst.